And what's really powerful about feeling the sadness and then realizing that it's related to some story is that I have an expectation. If I feel sadness because she's not here, which is how the mind is trying to convince me that I feel sad, then I've created this story. And ultimately, a story is an expectation. It's some belief that things should be different than they are, which ultimately isn't true. So I started to notice that emotions were actually informing me of what I was believing. And beliefs are expectations. Whereas a direct experience of life, you're just with life as it is. There is acceptance, and so there isn't any story that has time to conjure up because you're in congruency with life as it is. So that was the other thing I noticed, was in the state of non-duality, stories couldn't create. So I couldn't have a view of how my life was supposed to be. I would be in life each moment as it was. I started to notice that this created an incredible intelligence, a genius, a vibrancy. When I say genius, because there's no expectations, because there's no perception of how life should be, then there was all this room left to live. And that led back into a state of presence, of joy, of lightness. So I didn't have these perceptions going on of how things should be, and I was simply in my life. Way more energy, no anxiety, no doubt, no perception of something being good or bad. We often think that this is something that happens if we get older and we cultivate wisdom, but why wait? So in the state of consistent, joyful vibration, wisdom is the way. You're in a state of congruent presence with life as it is. And any kind of emotion becomes an informing, so that if you feel angry, you know there's a need for change and something you need to address. But you're not riddled with anger. You use the anger as the fuel that it is to create the change. So you tell somebody what you need to say, or you make the necessary changes. It doesn't mean that they're going to hear you, and it doesn't mean that the changes are going to occur, but it shows you what's important to you and the direction that you want to move.